Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a new Flosstube episode for you where I'm going to go over a lot of fully finishes, and then I have a few new finishes, and I have a special guest today. Hi! How are you today?
Good.
This is Joy. So the reason why Joy's here today is because she helped me with my FFOs, and let's see what you made.
Okay,
Just hold them all up and we can talk about what we did. So we fully finished some pillows, and this was Joy's first time sewing on a sewing machine. So she wanted to be here to share the finishes because she helped. So what did you do?
So we sewed this bird one.
This is a Blackbird Designs, part of the Loose Feather series. Show the back. Why don't you tell them what the process is that you did?
So we put this with, what's it called? The white stuff, not the stuffing.
The lining fabric?
Yeah, the lining fabric. We put lining fabric on.
And then we picked the back fabric.
Yeah, and then we ironed it all.
And then we clipped it.
Yep. We clipped it, and then we went over to our sewing machine, and then we sewed it.
Yeah. And
we left a little space.
Yeah.
But each time we just like took a clip out.
Yeah.
After.
Okay, so here's the first one you made.
And we put it inside out.
Here's the backing material.
Stuff it.
Which is the same one that I used to finish number 1 in the series. Then
that's how you make a stitching pillow.
Yep. And then what we do? Oh, there's Pumpkin House by Pansy Patch, and show the back fabric.
Pumpkins!
So Joy helped me turn them inside out and then stuff them. She did all the stuffing too. Okay, what's the last one? That's upside down.
Oh, okay.
And this long flag from October House Fiber Arts. Good job, Joy. Okay, and you decided you really like sewing, huh? So we got a new sewing project book for you. And it's coming when?
Today.
Today, yeah.
Bye-bye.
So Joy's just going to join us for that little part. So we will see her again next time. Okay, it's just me. So, yes, I have been on a little bit of a fully finish-a-palooza. Is that what I called it last time? Well, I did it again because when I'm finishing things, I just feel like finishing all the things. My fingernails are going to be very distracting today. Sorry. Yesterday was a live video on the nail polish channel, and I didn't change those polishes since then. So, Blackbird Designs, you guys have seen this one finished a while ago, and I just finished it as a pillow, and I just have stuffed it with batting. I just kept it really simple for Joy to be able to try that out. And then this one I said was Pansy Patch Pumpkin House, and I do have this same fabric to do, I think, the whole series. That's my plan. And I love the little pumpkin fabric. It's so pretty. It has like some gold accenting on there. And I'm not much for trimming my pillows, but if I find one that I love, I might add some to them. And then this one is a finish and then a fully finish. So this is, I think it's called Faded Flag from October House, and this was a birthday gift from Heidi at Whips and Kits. And I was stitching on this last week in our Zoom with Kim, Contented Needle Worker, and I told him I was going to finish it that day, and I did. So this is stitched on 20 count. I forget what this kind of fabric is called, but it's that kind of burlap-y one. And then I used all of the flosses that came in the kit that Heidi sent me, and this is 2/2. And Joy and I, we sewed a little crookedly, I have to admit, but we did fine for her first job, and I care more that she enjoyed doing it with me than how it like if it looks perfect. Besides, even if I did it myself, it wouldn't be perfect. There's where we closed it. Each of them are closed like that on the bottom. So, and then this is the backing fabric that Country Sampler had in the kit. And their conversion has all the same flosses as the regular one, except I think they changed the white that's in the stars to Arrowhead from Weeks. So I did 3 pillows, and then I did some framing. Here's the first thing I framed. So this is my Happy Heart sampler, and this was my 2 strands a day from the beginning of the year until a couple months ago. And I got this frame at a thrift store for like $2, and it was nearly a perfect fit. So I popped it in there and just laced it up, and yeah, it ended up, I didn't even have this project with me when I found this frame. It just ended up being perfect. So that was wonderful, and I love it, and I'm so glad that I have it in a frame that I'm happy to have in my living room. I'm gonna put it up on the wall that has my heritage piece for my grandma. So there is that. And in case you're new to the channel, this Happy Heart sampler is stitched on a piece of fabric that I dyed, and it is nearly all my own conversion, like basically all. There's like one thread that's the same, and I did it 1 strand over 2 on 32 count, and there's no glass in there. So there's that one. Here's the next thing that I framed. This is again another thrift store frame. It looks like I got it for $1.50. This is my Jenny Bean sampler from Shakespeare's Peddler, and I love it. It is stitched on Vintage Country Mocha 40 count. It's 1 over 2, and this was a stitch along that I did with Heidi from Whips and Kits, and this is a really, really fun stitch. This frame has a few dings on it, so if I want to keep the frame black, I need to just fix those up real quick. Or I guess I could kind of weather the frame. I was thinking it might be nice to add like some kind of brown weathering, since there's not a ton of black in here. It's a lot of brown for the darker parts. So thinking about that, but again, no glass. And this one came with a thing on the back, so I think I can just set that. But I don't know, I might put it on the wall. Here's a third piece that I finished in the frame. This is Half the Fun from Ink Circles. This is a piece of shale from Picture This Plus, maybe? Anyway, I put this in here, laced it, and put it in the frame, and then after I was done, I realized that this frame I actually had set aside for something else. So I actually had it set aside for this, because this is gonna fit in there just perfectly, and with the white, whoops, that's what I meant to put it in. So I think that I'm going to take this out and undo the lacing and use the same backing mat board to put under here and just lace that into this one. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. And then I found this one at the thrift store, and it's supposed to look like a chalkboard, but it's just like paper overlaid on that. And then I think what I'll do is take this off and put it on here, so that it'll just have a little bit of fabric. I'll take it all the way up to the edge where the white is. Whoops, I think that's the plan. So let me know what you think about that. Because I really like the color of this kind of mauvey gray fabric. That's why I was like, oh, that'll be nice in there, because I can show a lot of the fabric. But I want to use this for the other project instead, so I think I'll put it on here. So that's the plan for that. And then I had another finish this last couple weeks, which is my Supernatural Sal. So I have been working on this for a very long time, and when I got this out on the 13th? No, 31st, I think, I just decided to keep stitching it till I finish it up. So this is from the Witchy Stitcher. This is stitched on a piece of 14 or 16 count Aida that I over dyed to give it this kind of burnt-y marshmallow look. And this project is really fun. It's stitched with all DMCs, 2 strands over 1 on, this is 14 or 16 count. And use a lot of DMC 310, but it's all done and I love it so much. And so the creatures that are new are the, I think, Fairy, Demon, and Ghost since last time. So I actually have a frame all ready for this. So at Hobby Lobby, their spring shop stuff is all like 75% off right now. And so they had this 2 set of frames, but they were white, and this is gonna be covered up. So I painted it yesterday with matte black paint, and then, or nail polish. And because I wanted it to be like not totally opaque. So I didn't go in for like a second coat or anything. And then I created a multi-chrome lacquer to go just on the top. And it is black to red. So let's see if I can catch the light just right. So it's just meant to catch the reds in the project. So if that's not showing up, I will insert another video that I took when I was painting it. So this is gonna go in here, just in like that. Whoopsie. And then it has its custom frame to bring out the reds because it's all black, tan browns, and just pops of red. So I am very excited, but I ran out of my lacing thread and my mat board. So I need to go back to Hobby Lobby and get some more of that before I can pop it into this frame. So yeah, I'm very excited. And like I've said the last few times that I've got this out, let's see if that, now you can see the red from that angle. See there? It just, like, that's the point of the multi-chrome. You don't want it to look red all the time. You just want it to look red, like it's like red and orange flashing at you depending on what angle you're looking at the art. If you don't know, I make nail polish. So anyway, I'm very excited. It is almost fall. I have my fall hair back. I went and had it put back in at the salon, and I am trying to usher in fall, and I'm ready to put all my fall stitching up. So that's the plan. So I don't have quite as many whips or works in progress today because I was working so much on finishing things and finishes. So here's my first whip. This is my 2 strands a day. So what I was doing pretty much the entire last 2 weeks was one of my strands, oh wow, she's really starting to come out. So I haven't worked on the garden at all. So I've just been working on the lovely artiste. So I've been doing, sorry for the shaking, I've been doing 1 strand of over 1 skin, and then doing one, which is actually 2 strands because this is on 32 count white gel, the called for, of something in her dress. So I've been doing some over 1 and then doing regular full cross on the 2 strands over 2 on the 32 count in her dress. That way I don't get too tired of doing the over 1 because I can't really do the sewing method very well on over 1 without it looking strange. So the last 2 weeks I've been working on her violin and then her skin and pulling her dress down farther. So this is Garden Prelude from Mirabilia. And you will be seeing me work on this. You'll see progress on this every video until she's done because this is officially my oldest whip now. And so that's how I'm gonna do. My 2 strands a day is going to be this lady until it's done. However, in September, I'll be doing 2 strands a day on my Back to School project. And so this young lady will get a break in September, but I'll keep stitching on her every day in August. So I love how putting in that arm and everything is really making her take shape. This is with all of the called for DMC and everything, and the kit, like how they kit up the beads and everything, and then it's all the called for Karen water lilies and stuff. Here is what I was working on yesterday on the 10th, because on the 10th of every month I pull out my anniversary stitch. It is Pretty Little London from Satsuma Street. I'm using all of the called for DMC on this 16 count Ada that already came printed like that, which was perfect for London, and I'm really loving it. I think I'm over halfway done now. So yesterday I took the kids to this place called Boondocks. It's a family fun center, and we got like them a 4-hour pass. And so when I wasn't walking them around and getting them on rides and stuff, which it's not so much rides, it's go-karts, mini golf, laser tag. There is this 3D ride inside, and then there was bumper boats and one more thing, ropes course. So they did it all. It was very hot out there. Rained on them a little bit, but when I wasn't needed, I was stitching on this. So that was a fun day yesterday. Oh, they also had bowling in there too, which we didn't do. But it was I thought it was a pretty good deal for 4 hours of constant fun. So Pretty Little London from Satsuma Street. And so I've done Hawaii. I will finish up London, and then I will move on to Pretty Little Paris. Okay, this next project, I was looking through what I haven't touched in a while, and I hadn't touched this in basically a year. So I worked on this for a while, and I got a ton done. As far as how this project is progressing, it feels like a ton. So this is, I think, Happy Halloween or Hello Halloween from Love to Cross Stitch, Brian Jackson. And this is stitched on this really pretty Lugana. Excuse me, this is Jobelin, and this is called Beach Walk from Under the Sea Fabrics. Here's the colors. There's pinks and blues. And I don't know why I decided to put this Halloween piece on here, but that's fine. So this project has had such a hard time getting progress on it because it is very Dimensions-esque, where it's confetti heavy and everything's all right next to each other, and it's hard for me to like keep track of where I am. However, I put it in my Markup XP app, and it has been a dream. So I filled out some more of the wizard. I did all of the trees that you see, basically everything to the left of the wizard, that's new. And then I did a lot of the stuff that's over his head. And then this thing, I think that's a snake that's gonna be a pea, is new too. All of that's new. So using the app helped so much. And so I really enjoyed myself. This is 2 strands over 2 though on the 28 count Jobelin, so it is very full. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Now that it's getting closer to Halloween, I just want to stitch on a lot of Halloween, and then using that Markup XP app was super key for me. So if you have an Apple product, check it out. You can load your projects in there, and it will keep track of what you've done. So I'm not constantly trying to figure out where I'm at. That slows me down so much when I'm stitching. So next I want to share with you my birthday start for this year. So I had finished Vintage Stitches, and I am starting Seaside Stitches. So I don't have a lot of progress on this at all because on my birthday I didn't do that much stitching. But this is a piece of, it's either Lugana or Jobelin, probably Lugana. This looks like 28 count Lugana that I probably got from Hobby Lobby, and then I overdyed it with these blues and pinks. And basically I just started putting in the ship in the middle. So I started going in and realized that I was doing 1 strand over 2, and then I had to go back over things and add a second because the white was just not showing up at all. So I don't even know if it's still gonna work, but that's what we're gonna go with for now. Actually, the mast and the boat is just 1 strand, which I would prefer to do, but for the white, it just wasn't gonna work. So I might leave this at 1 strand. What do you guys think? Will that look dumb? So anyway, I'm gonna stitch this with all of the called for flosses because it's my birthday stitch, so I'm gonna splurge on everything that's called for. They're all silks. So there's lots of MPI and Soie d'Alger, and then there's water lilies in here. This one's gonna be the main variegated floss, and then we've got some Gloriana, and we have Silken Colors, and I am still waiting for flosses from Beehive Needle Arts and Hobby House, and then I'll have most of them. Some stuff was out of stock, and so I still need to hunt it down. So very, very excited. So I will be stitching on this the 7th of every month till it is finished. Okay, Memories of the Past. This is stitched on a special to me piece of fabric that was hand dyed by Heidi from Whips and Kits. It's tea dyed. It's 40 count. And this is from Hands Across the Sea. And this time, all I did was put in the brown writing. the verse there. I started the verse. So everything in the verse besides maybe the W at the very beginning was already in there or something. But everything else, that's what I did this week. I just worked on that. So this was one of the projects that I drew randomly with you last time. And so I was going to get some work done on this. But like I said, I was working on finishing some things. So I only stitched on this for the day that I decided to pull it out for that one day. So this is a 40 count. So I'm stitching 1 over 2. And this is Memories of the Past. I call this my purple sampler. So there's the letters again. And I'm stitching this with all of the called for DMCs. And if you want to see this up on the wall, go watch Narissa. She has this up on the wall behind her, I feel like, in every video, and it's so beautiful. Just 2 more. So on the 30th, I stitched on my Blackberry house from Plum Street. And what I did this time was completely finish filling in this urn. So if you remember before, like these whole 2 things were not filled in yet. So that's what I did. I just did some super easy stitching, probably while I was watching the Olympics, just going up and down and finished filling in the urn. This is a big project. This is gonna take me a while. I don't think I'm even halfway done because I need to start in on this plant. I guess I've got a little bit of the plant, but yeah, there's still a lot to go. So this is stitched on a piece of 40 count fabric and flare, whoops, called Dried Petal. And it's a really pretty color. And it's using all the called for flosses. And it is 1 over 2. So I stitched this on the 30th because this is the project that my daughter Joy picked out, who you just saw, for me to stitch on her birthday of the month each month. So that's the 30th. Last whip, this is, I just stitched on this for a little bit when I was Zooming with Kim from Contented Needleworker Kim. This is Emeline Hotchkiss, and this is a stitch along that I joined that she's doing with Audrey from Stitch Stitch Bead. Sorry, I got a hair. And all I did this time was, I think I did a little bit more in the tree, and then I just brought this over. And that's it. Man, filming these floss tubes is really great for me to find the needles that I misplaced. I have one there. I will finish up the rest of this thread and then I will take that needle out. I'll probably go do that right after this. So not a ton done on this. This is stitched on a piece of 40 count that I over dyed. I'm using the called, no, I'm not using the called for. Am I using the called for? I think just 2 of the flosses. So like this vining up here, it's very golden. It's actually, I think, Grecian gold from Gentle Arts. But then pretty much everything else besides that floss, I subbed in my own colors. So, yep. So I got to Zoom with Kim and Heidi a few times since our last video. And we're all stitching Louisa Barney. If you want to see a lot of work done on it, go look at Kim's videos. But on the day that we met last, they were both stitching on that, and I was trying to finish up my faded flag. But I will get out Louisa Barney the next time we Zoom. So that's my final whip. So I haven't had an acquisition segment on this channel in a while because I have been very frugally just stitching on what I already own. However, as it was my birthday, I had 2 lovely friends send me some things for my birthday, some stitchy things. So Heidi from Whips and Kits, she sent me just a few little bits and bobs because she'd already sent me that faded flag whole kit. But she sent me these project cards from Kathy Barrick. And then she sent me this pattern, Autumn Joy from Plum Street. Super cute. And this one, this is September from Stitching with the Housewives. Whoop, glare, sorry about that. Trucking Along September. And then she sent me 2 pieces of fabric. I love the mushrooms under the tree. Isn't that so pretty? So I need to finish another Christmas thing. Maybe I'll use this for an ornament this year. And then she sent me this one. which is, it's embroidered. I mean, it's not, there's no feel to it, but the little design on there looks embroidered. So, love that. I gotta find just the right project to use that for. And then my friend Kayla sent me this beautiful PDF from Tiny Modernist. Isn't it adorable? I'm trying to figure out what color fabric I want to dye for it. I feel like Tiny Modernist is great on Aida, and I do have a huge thing of Aida that I bought from Amazon, and I want to dye it and soften it up, because that Amazon Aida is really not fun to stitch on just as it comes. So what color should I dye that fabric? You let me know. So those are my acquisitions, and thank you so much to my sweet friends. I am now going to talk about plans. So during my plans segment on these videos, I pick a couple of random projects with you from my whips to help me determine what I'm going to stitch on in the next couple weeks. However, I also have things that I stitch on specific days of the month. So for the next week, let's see, there's nothing there. The 21st, I will stitch on this project, which is Fractal Flowers from Kathy Barrick for my daughter's birthday of the month. And then the next time I film is actually the 25th, and that's the next time that I have a designated day to stitch something. So I guess I'll have a lot of random stuff that you won't know what I'm stitching on until we get there. So I plan to keep looking through my whip journals to see what hasn't been stitched on in a really long time. So we'll do some of that. But besides Fractal Flowers, oh, by the way, I drew that I was supposed to stitch on Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, and I just didn't have time this weekend to do that. Or sometimes I can throw it in at the very end before filming to make sure I get some progress. That's the whole reason I do it, is to make sure I'm getting progress, but I just didn't have time. So that you aren't seeing that today, obviously. Okay, so here's one of the ways that I draw a random project. This is the Tiny Decisions wheel, and I have all my whips in there, and we draw one out, and then it darkens out the little pie sliver. This is Halloween This Way, which is done. So I'm gonna respin, and that's also done. It's right there. That's weird that it's still in here. Okay. She Sights a Bird. Okay, so that's the third project in this series right here. So this one and 2 are done. She Sights a Bird looks like this, so I will make some progress on that before next video. And then next, I choose a project for my 2024 Mania list. So this is everything I stitched on this year's Mania, which happens in May. This year was the first 24 days of May. So I have this randomizer app, and we will generate a number, 15. So we're gonna be stitching on Hello Halloween. Lots of fun Halloween. Okay, so that's the one from Sue Hillis. It looks like that with the skeletons and everything. So I am itching to get that project done. That's an older one in my whip pile. My whip pile? So those are the two things we'll definitely see work on. And when I say definitely, I guess I mean maybe, because I didn't fulfill that last time. Okay, this is the part in my videos where I talk about books. If you are totally not interested in book talk, then I will say so long until the next video, which will be 2 weeks from today. And I really appreciate you joining me. So if you would like to hear some unspoilery reviews of some books that I've read lately to maybe add some things to your TBR, that's what we're gonna do now. So I'm gonna open up my Audible app. I'm gonna open up my history, which is how I even remember what I read. I have 3 friends that I'm listening to books with at the time. So lots of these are buddy reads. Okay. Let's see if I can remember. Okay, so the first book that I talked about last time was the thing that I had just started. It's called A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. And I finished this one and kind of quickly forgot about it. It wasn't like a really enticing kind of, it just didn't really stick with me very long. I did really like the setting of it. I mentioned in the last video, it kind of felt like you were in the Jane Eyre manor. And it was interesting, but not, like, it didn't slay. So I think I'd give that one 3 out of 5 stars. Like, it was fine. It wasn't a bad read. That one is supposed to be, I think, set like around 1950s or something, I think, in Great Britain. And women don't have as many rights to go to school in certain subjects as men do. And so those are the vibes. Is there magic in that? Yeah, there is some magic, but I can't remember if the main characters have it. Anyway, that was a very medium. If you find that one for free, it's a decent read. Okay, next I read Love and Other Words. This one is a love story. This is a second chance romance love story, so completely switching it up. Now we're talking about romance. I feel like the spice level on this one was maybe like, I can't really remember. I think maybe like a 1 out of 5, so it's not gonna be too crazy if you're not into that. And it's about a woman. She's about to be married to this man, and she's been through some severe different emotional traumas in her life, and you don't really find out about all of those till the very end of the book. And her childhood best friend, who was also like her first love, comes back into her life, and it's just like the author slowly unraveling what actually happened to make these two not friends anymore. And so it's like a really delicious tale of longing, and the angst is so real to find out why these two besties haven't talked for 10 to 15 years. And I did think it was a really nice, pretty story. So I think I gave that one a 4 out of 5. I read The Last House on Needless Street. It looks like this. This book just blew my mind. So I can't really tell you very much about this at all, except that it's suspense. This is another book about trauma. This book might involve some kidnapping. This book definitely wants to extend the realm of reality for you to where you're really like wondering what is going on all the time. Now, I do have to say, I've had 2 buddies read this book since I started it, and I was like, whoa, okay, if you have some time, read this. It's not too long of a read, and tell me what you think. And they caught on to what was happening faster than I. One of them was like, figured it out like that. However, when I finally was figuring out what was happening, and then when I got to the very end and you read the author's note about the book, I was just like, what? So this one was a really good read for me. I really enjoyed it, but it is another one of those bizarre books. If you heard me talk about how much I liked the library at Mount Char, and you tried it and you were like, this is too bizarre for me, you probably won't like this book. But I really liked it. So this is The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. After that, again, just totally changing genres, I finally read Tress of the Emerald Sea. I've been looking forward to reading this for a really long time. It's by Brandon Sanderson. It's a little bit more of a young adult read. It is a standalone book that he wrote inspired by Princess Bride. It was like a love story that he wrote for his wife and then put it on Kickstarter and got it self-published, and it's just really beautiful. And if you like Princess Bride, but you want Princess Buttercup to actually be having a lot more action, this book is the one for you. So it's about kingdoms and lords and kings and pirates and action, and there's sorcery, and it's really fun. So I give that one 5 stars. I loved it. Tress of the Emerald Sea. And if you've read any of the other Sanderson books and you like the character Wit, who makes an appearance in like almost every book, he narrates this book. So really good. Okay. Then I started Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. This was for free on my Audible Plus, And this one really reminds me of Throne of Glass. It's this girl, she was formerly a slave, and she finally escaped her captors and made her way over to this other country where she's been invited to join this order of magicians, kind of like assassin magicians. It really reminded me of Throne of Glass, but didn't it didn't capture me as much as that series. So this one probably is also another like 1 spice level. So it definitely does have some spice, but not like a crazy amount. Tress has 0 spice, by the way, even though it is a love story. So yeah, it was only okay. I read it for free. I can read the next 2 in the series for free too if I like have nothing else that I want to read. So I think I give it like a 3.5. Daughter of No Worlds. Then I started The Farseer Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. And this one I liked more. So this one, the main character is like, he starts out as a 6-year-old boy, and it's a trilogy, but like the whole series is like a 16-book series. I don't know after the first 3 if we're going to stay with the first guy or if we move on to somebody else. But I've heard really great things about this series, so if you've read it, let me know. Also, this series has 0 spice. It's very family friendly. You could have the book on in the car with your kids. So your main character, he starts out as like a 6-year-old, and he's the bastard to one of the princes of the kingdom. And then there's a whole bunch of court intrigue, and he's going to be trained as an assassin because he can't really like be in court that much, but still the people of the kingdom, there's actually a lot of bastards in the book, and the people who have these children, they'll keep them like in the kingdom, they'll keep them around to help them with different things that they need done, even though they can't hold a place in the royal family yet. So, yeah, it's just a really lovely book. And then plus there's a bunch of magic. So you find out pretty quickly the main character Fitz, I always want to call him Fitz, he can talk to animals, and then he's gonna like develop a bunch of more things. So I really enjoyed it, so much so that I started the second book. But I started that one and another one at the same time. So the second book is called Royal Assassin. From this book, it sounds like he's gonna be like from 16 to maybe 23 or something, like it's those years. And I just started it out, and there's something going wrong with him big that happened at the end of the last book, and it's really handicapping him from doing a lot of the stuff that he's supposed to or wanting to be doing at the time. Plus this one seems to be a little bit more of a love story. And so I just can't wait to see what's going to happen next, because he just started like really figuring stuff out at the end of the last one. And then this one, he's physically not able to do stuff because of something. And so the cover of the book implies that will not be the case for the whole book. So we shall see, but I'm really loving it. It's for free on Audible Plus if you have a membership. Very family friendly again. Okay, the other book that I started with my brother Oliver right now, it's called The Burning God from R.F. Kuang. This is the 3rd one in the series that I started. So I've read 1 and 2. They are not family friendly, not because of spice, but because these are gruesome books of war. And they're really, this series really points a finger at racism and power and greed and how it corrupts. And there's also a lot of magic in these books. This was the series that I was talking about where the main character, she just wants to be like the best warlord ever. She wants to have the most power ever. So your main character, she is not really a great person, but every person in the book mostly has like, you know, the 2 sides of them, just like we all do. We're not all good or all bad. And this is just showing some extremes of that, but you always are rooting for the main character, but I'm really not sure by the time we get to the end of the 3rd book, is she actually going to, like, will she lose her mind to all the power that she's getting? I don't know, but this is also a great story of friendship, maybe love. I don't know. There were some major betrayals at the end of the last book. So anyway, those are the two I'm reading right now, and I'm really loving both of them. This series by R.F. Kuang, like I said, zero spice, but it does have language and gruesome depictions of war. So, but I really like it. So highly recommend. Okay. Those are all of the books that I have read or am listening to in the last couple weeks. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you are reading and enjoying. I love to hear from you in the comments below, both about your books, both about what projects you are enjoying stitching on right now, or you want to start, want to kit up. Let me know all the things. Thanks for being here for this video today and joining in with me chatting about our stitching. And if you aren't yet subscribed, make sure you do that and hit the little bell notification. Like the video if you enjoyed it. And I will see you back in 2 weeks to talk about my stitching. In 2 weeks, will we be in September? No. So I won't be starting my back to school sale, but that is coming soon. My kids go back to school on Thursday. I'm so excited. Okay, guys, I will see you very soon. Take care until then. Bye.